Go live. I'm live. I have no idea why that happened, y'all, but we are live now.
Wait,
Yeah,
took me
welcome back.
time.
Welcome back to the Nerdcore podcast, the podcast reviews of movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 553, and it is your review of Dredd. As always, is the nerd you gonna here to host the show alongside my wonderful co-host, Young Yoda, who is
What's up,
faceless
everybody?
today.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be off camera today as my internet company has decided to do bullshit again. We are in a winter storm, though. There was a truck accident that spilled toxic fumes. Raul has a train thing over by him. South Carolina has a train thing. We all
Yeah,
know about
oh,
Ohio. So welcome to the apocalypse. So this is a perfect movie to review.
we should actually be talking about fucking what's it called, Mad Max Fury Road, right?
Yeah, I'm Furiosa. Has Furiosa come out yet?
Not yet. But well, what's it called? We are living in weird times, my friend.
Oh,
But
God.
yeah, today's episode is gonna be like last month. We have our patrons vote on a exclusive movie that we get to review on the show,
And they chose a
and
good one this time.
yeah, they
Well,
chose a
a
pretty
better
good
one.
one.
They chose a better one.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, no, they chose a good one, Brad. Last month was the game plan. That wasn't good.
Wasn't good at all.
Yeah, yeah. So, Brad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I wish my internet wasn't shit. I'm gonna come off. I'm gonna come off from behind Judge Dredd for a second. I'll wave, and then I'll be on again. There we go. So
Yeah,
you know
sorry, guys.
well, winter storm going on. We had high winds yesterday. Um, the internet company is probably scrambling very slowly as they generally do.
Yeah, because help the people who pay you? Nah. Why do that?
Nah, but
Yeah.
there's a hard freeze for tonight. So yeah, the good old AZ is becoming a winter wonderland.
Arizona's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, man, I hope you're doing well. I just not much going on today. The train derailment. I mean,
yeah.
that didn't affect us. That affected me
Well,
that much. What's it
luckily,
called? I don't drive.
fumes. Poor Ohio there.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I don't know what's been going on over here. This is a crazy times we're living in, and yeah, who knows what the fuck is going on now? All I know is that we're here for this review, and yeah, um,
I'm kind of excited for this one, just to talk about this.
yeah, I'm excited too because I mean, for so long everybody's told me like, dude, watch this one. This is the good Dread movie, the good Judge Dread movie.
Oh,
I'm like,
is this your first watch?
yeah, bruh.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, this is my first watch. Um, But of course, this would not be possible without the patrons. So what's it called? Yes, this is because of the patrons. If you want to make us vote on, well, if you want to vote on a movie that we will watch this month, all you gotta do is go to patreon.com/nerdcore and pledge to the dollar tier. And I believe that's, or I think it's a three. I don't know, but pledge to the tier that allows you to vote. There's some that allow you to like, what's it called, nominate the movies, and then from there you vote on the poll. So it's pretty good stuff there. Lots of cool stuff going on Patreon, and
High class.
yeah,
You did and
even faceless you're cutting off, man.
damn it.
Yep,
It's a me.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna get through this, and we're gonna finish off with what we got here. What's up, Stacy? Nice to see you today, man. All is a disaster and nonsense, and Christian Cage made his return to Dynamite. That's right. Damn, man. Well, Brad, we probably should get this going because you know, what's it called? We gotta talk about this movie for them. I say that as if like I hated this movie, which I didn't. But it's just been a long day today, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and get y'all ready. So if you've never seen Dredd, this is the 2012 film that we're talking about, by the way, not Judge Dredd from the 80s. Is the
Not
ninth.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, we're talking about the 2012 film. So if you've never seen this film before, then go ahead and get out of here if you care about spoilers. But if you don't care about spoilers or you've seen the film, then you can go ahead and stay. Either way, how any of that goes, this is your one and only spoiler warning, and it is in effect in a five, four, three, two, one. This time the spoiler banner is up, Brad. My bad from last time. But this time it is up. I am going to read to you all, and hopefully I don't what's it called? I have a lot. Oh, it's not too much. Well, actually it is kind of too much.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah. Dread is a 2012 science fiction action film directed by Pete Travis and written and produced by Alex Garland. It is based on the 2000 AD comic strip Judge Dredd and its
Mm.
eponymous character created by John Wagner, I don't know, and Carlos Esquera. Carl Urban stars as Judge Dredd, a law enforcer given the power of judge, jury, and executioner in a vast dystopic metropolis called Mega City 1 that lies in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Dredd and his apprentice partner Judge Anderson, played by Olivia Thirlby, are forced to bring order to a 200-story high-rise block of apartments and deal with its resident drug lord, Mama, played by Lena Headey. Brad, you might know Lena. We might know Lena Headey as Cersei Lannister.
Ooh.
Garland began writing the script in 2006, although the development of a new Judge Dredd film adaptation unrelated to the 1995 Judge Dredd was not announced until December 2008. Produced by British studio DNA Film, Dredd began principal photography using 3D cameras throughout in November 2010. Filming took place on practical sets and locations in Cape Town and Johannesburg. Dredd was released on September 7, 2012 in the United Kingdom and on September 21st worldwide. Critics were generally positive about the film's visual effects, casting, and action sequences, while criticism focused on excessive violence as well as perceived lack of the satirical elements that are found in the source comic. Despite the positive critical response, the film earned over 41 million at the box office on an estimated budget of 30 to 45 million. Ooh.
Mm.
Dredd saw greater success following its home release and has since been registered as a cult film. The theatrical gross made a sequel unlikely, but home media sales and fan efforts endorsed by 2080's publisher Rebellion Developments have maintained the possibility of a second film. Yeah. Um. So, man, I'm sorry, y'all. Also starring Wood Harris and Lena Headey, right? Cinematography is done by Anthony Dodd Mantle, who has shot Slumdog Millionaire for Danny Boyle.
Mm.
Edited by Mark Eckerselli. Eckerselli. Music is done by Paul Leonard Morgan. And it sits at an hour and 35 minutes. And of course, the budget was estimated to be around 45 million, and it only made 41.5 million at the box office. So, with that said, Judge Dredd, would you like to give us your initial thoughts on the film?
Yeah, I can go first and hope that out too bad. Um, I just these numbers. I'm kind of surprised at this 41 million on the 45 million because this is very much a blockbuster film. But I think the thing that goes against it, it's also a sci-fi film. And generally, it doesn't well to the box office uh, quite often. But yeah, in this instance, my memory is a disservice because let me just start with what I enjoy out of this film. I enjoy so I think he does great in the role. You couldn't outroll.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Pretty bad.
I mean, I heard you go like I like and then in the role. He does pretty good, but I'm pretty sure you mean Carl Urban.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead with your thoughts, bro. I'm gonna play with this VPN and see if that helps.
All right, cool. So I have a lot of thoughts on Judge Dredd here. I like the movie. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's probably one of the best movies based on a comic book that I've seen. It's probably one of the most stylized for sure from a comic book that I've ever seen. This one's up there with like V for Vendetta for sure. They're like really stylized and like I really do enjoy the visual language of the movie. Um, I really couldn't get behind the story, even though it's paced really well. Like those 1 hour and 35 minutes really did go by pretty fast and pretty well. That like I was really interested in what was going on, but the story never grabbed me enough to the point where I was like, "Yo, like I'm really interested in this story about this judge, jury, and executioner." I think it just has like little to no setup for the world that we're living in and about the motivations for our character to kind of just drop us into this wasteland and they're like, yeah, this is what's happening. Let's go into this two-story building with this woman who like can do psychic powers and shit. But I don't know. I think that the film is fine. I like it. I probably would rewatch it whenever we do a comic book. What's it called? Whenever a possible sequel comes out. But I think that it's pretty good. Brett, am I allowed to stop or are you back now?
Yeah, I'm back right now. I don't think I helped anything though. I did a speed test. It's pretty shit. Um, so Irvin, I like the utopia aspects. Um, I mean, but again, my memory did a disservice because I totally didn't remember the whole psychic aspect of this, and that kind of threw me off. Um, so yeah, Olivia Thirlby, like I think she did well, but not my favorite role of hers. Um, yeah, I'm probably cut it out pretty bad, but
No, Brad, you're good. Keep going.
am I good? Am I good? Okay,
Yeah, you're good. You're
okay. Yeah,
good.
I'm just a little flustered here because I hate. I'm going to kick my internet's ass. Uh, but again, the psychic part of it. I actually watched this with Brenda. She brought it a good point. Moments of this movie are quite campy, which works for it and doesn't work for it. Um, there's not much like of a plot in this other than basically two cops trying to get out of a drug kingpin's building cell, which I guess limits the budget when you just put it into one skyscraper building, which is great and all, but it doesn't do anything for the story. And that's where I think it's lacking. And I did find myself just kind of nodding off here and there because I for an hour and 40-minute long movie is lag.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you see, lag in the story, what's it called, is what I'm talking about more so like the uninteresting parts because the pace to me never really felt bad. I never felt like I was dragging. I thought that I felt like a detachment to the story. Like I really didn't feel like I was interested at all in what was going on, even though like it has everything in the recipe to interest me. Like you have really interesting like choreography, you have really good performers there who are doing a good job. You have some interesting themes that I would like to see be explored, but they don't really explore them.
Yeah.
And it's just I like I'm kind of thinking here, Brad. Like I feel like I feel like Alex Garland wanted to direct this because the script is not being directed by the right person to bring the script to life. Because Alex Garland, who's Ex Machina and all that, like I'm sure
Hmm.
under Alex Garland, this would have looked really different.
I'm sure the decisions behind it would have been quite different. Also, this movie, parts of this movie, they don't age well. The CGI doesn't age well in this.
No, it
Um,
doesn't.
It doesn't. Which
No,
I can't blame the movie for that. This was what, 2012?
2012. Yeah,
I mean, but even in 2012, you think the CGI would have been better than what it was? Because now it's just the whole glass. When they break glass, it just looks bad.
yeah.
Um, but I'm not going to hold that too much against it because let's face it, when you have older movies, you're going to have that with CGI.
I love
But
that you refer this as an older movie.
it is an older movie to me. It's an older movie. Although I've seen the first Judge Dredd as well, so I got to say Carl Urban does it better than Sylvester Stallone. I'll just put that out there. So that's no question. But at the same time, I love the dystopian look of it. I really like the look of this film. It looks like an apocalyptic shithole, and that's what this movie basically needs because you have a bunch of judges running around killing people, and they're the police of this horrible universe. And you really get that sense of they're fighting their way, and they might not make it. Which it's good on that, especially when the miniguns come out. That's kind of ridiculous in a way when they shoot up a whole floor, but
Yeah,
it looked good. Like, don't get me wrong, that look is still ridiculous. Getting, I was getting some other vibes and it's good. The whole concept of it, um, but at the same time, this movie to me, it is slow. The pacing for me is not there. Some parts of this movie, I'm just like, you just went from an action thing into okay, we're back to looking at the evil villainess who really I wouldn't even that evil considering what she came up through. So I mean, it does give you questions on who am I to root here? Because asshole.
like I feel like there's like a disconnect between the script and like the direction here because like I think on paper our like villains are supposed to be like these two-dimensional people who like are they actually villains? Like they're people who are sick and tired of like living under the rule of these judges who what's it called are pretty much shoot first, ask questions later. And
Yeah,
in the
and
film it kind of comes off like very one dimensional, like the direction feels so one dimensional with these characters where it's like no, they're just sick and they're just tired of this society and they're ready to just blow everything up. And it's like you're not giving me actual like insight into what's going down in this dystopian society.
well, the only insight you get is about the woman leader of this gang who rose to the top by having to destroy these four gangs, but she started in prostitution. And it's like, all right, are we supposed to just go with Dread good, everyone else bad? Because
Mama
this woman
bad.
sounds like she was like put through hell and then rose to the top to like
Yeah,
basically, I'm guessing, feed herself when it first started, and now we're just going to go off and just kill everyone. Just
yeah.
kind of like that's what Judge Dredd does.
Well, it's like I said, it's a lot. It's like it's a lot of style and yet little to no substance.
Exactly. Like they don't go in behind the stories more. Like, Dredd has a story behind him. You don't really get that. You just get Carl Urban sneering a lot, which, I
Yeah,
love, but there's it's a very shallow movie. I'll just say that.
yeah. And like and yet even with all those faults, I actually really like this. Like actually like this movie. Like I had fun with what I was watching, and like I like the effects, and I like the way that he stylizes this comic book film because honestly, we don't get them like this anymore, Brad. We don't. Like it never looks this cool.
I think
And
the only one I can really compare it to is Sin City.
yeah, exactly, like Sin
Yeah.
City. Because you could tell that this has like a vision, right? Like this
Yeah.
actually like, oh, I want to make this look really post-apocalyptic, but I also want to include like some like action scenes that are very reminiscent of the Matrix, and I want to include like these very like grimy type of settings. And it's yeah, like you could tell that there's a sort of like vision here. It just falls under a very lackluster direction from the
But yeah,
from
I think you hit the nail on the head when you say they have the wrong guy directing this. They should have had the writer of this movie directing it.
Yeah. I cannot for the life of me think of the movie Dredd. Kind of borrows a story structure of a tower attack or defense plot from. It was around the same time. I think you're thinking of the raid, because I was talking to Brad about that. I said, Brad, is this not just post-apocalyptic the raid?
I was like, yeah, kind of, pretty much.
Now
I,
that
I,
movie's fucking great.
yeah, that
That
movie is
movie's
good.
great.
Yeah,
Oh, I love the raid.
but
But
but I mean, I'm not sure I like. This is my second or third. I can't remember, but every time I watch it throughout the years, it age well. And I feel
yeah,
like Raul with your first, you're kind of getting, oh, this is cool and everything. And just from future watches, if you do, I think your score will go down because you'll go
yeah.
like, why is there a psychic here? What was the whole point of that? Because I don't like, and she wasn't even that great of a psychic. She's like, oh, there's two people behind the door. And and the one has feelings of anger, but that's hiding, and it's like, what, their psychic does this? And then she
Yeah,
wears a helmet and is like, it blocks my psychic. I'm like, well, Dredd's right. It's not going to block a bullet from the head.
100% it won't. Um, but of course, I mean, you even say that, Brad. But like, I'm not gonna have a high score here. But I'll go with you first, Brad. What is your final verdict on Dread?
I honestly, I think this is just, like I said, I like the setting of this. I like Carl Urban in it, but I think the story's shallow. I think it lags and it's can be lackluster, and I just don't age as well. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and give this 5.5.
All right, Brad. I'm only going a point further than you, Brad. But I don't know how many times you've rewatched this movie, Brad. So I
I think
can
I'm on
imagine like
3, but it
I
might be
think
2, but it might be 3.
yeah. I think maybe when you first watched this, you had it like at like an 8 or something, and
Yeah,
maybe it went
probably.
down from there.
Yeah, probably. You're
But
probably right. Like, because the
yeah,
first watch I can see being like that opening sequence and everything, it's great. And then they get locked into the tower and then they have to shoot their way out. And it's really
yeah,
cool, especially back in 2012. Like, really freaking cool, especially if you original Judge Dredd, because this is probably beyond that one, if I can
yeah.
remember.
But I'm gonna go ahead and give Dread a 6.5 out of 10. Um, so yeah, though that's our review of I was gonna say Carl Urban's Dread. That's our review of Dread, and of course, like I said in the beginning, it's brought to you by our wonderful patrons. So thank you, patrons, for nominating this one. Keep up the streak, though. Give us something that we like
Yeah,
because
something we can talk about that isn't The Rock, his dog.
it's dog. Yeah.
But I think the possibility of home, I think start the series. Do that. Honestly.
Brad, you cut out pretty bad.
Damn it. Uh I was just saying they say the possibility of a second film. I was just saying they need to restart the series.
Just reboot it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's better if you just reboot it. But yeah, man, that's been our review. We want to thank you all so much for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you're leaving a like on the video and make sure that you're subscribing to the channel. Click that notification bell as well, please. It really helps us out because you're going to get a notification every single time that we're live or we have a video uploaded. And Stacy says, at least Raul didn't say Keith Urban, who stars in Amazon's The Boys. Yeah. But if you want to know how you can get access to this live when it live, all you need to do is go to patreon.com/nerdcore and pledge to the $1 tier. You get to watch this live. You may not be able to what's it called, vote on the poll, but you do get to talk to us live. And of course, if you're listening to this on a podcast platform that allows you to drop a 5-star review like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please do that. It helps us out a lot. Please, 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 please do that. And only 5 stars, please. Only 5 stars. Of course, we want to thank our what's it called, Patreon supporters again. Without them, it's not possible. And Brad, I'm gonna do it for you because you're cutting in and out. So I'm gonna just do this in the best of my abilities. We want to thank our producers, our legacy producer, Shane. You can find him at Prison City Shit on Instagram, Thrifted IL on Twitter, PrisonCityVintage.com for all your vintage clothes needs. And on there, you also have the address to his store in Crest Hill, Illinois. And whenever he comes back to Twitch, you can find him at twitch.tv/XSRK. Because I always seem to get those wrong. And of course, we want to thank our wonderful Kylie. Kylie can be found on Instagram at KyliePSports90 and on Twitter at KyliePLI. Thank you, Kylie. We need to do our next movie with Kylie. I can only imagine what the hell it's going to be, but hopefully it's not Top Gun because, god damn, I hate Top Gun. Yeah. Well,
Which
without
one?
further ado, my friends, we will see you all. Wait, what's up, Brad?
Which one?
Top Gun, the first one, Brad. There sadly has never been a reboot of Top Gun. Nobody else has dared to do a better version of it. Because she's not gonna start us on the first one, on the second one. Come on, man. But yeah, we are gonna be saying goodbye to you all, but we will be back on live for our patrons on Monday. No, I'm sorry, not Monday. Yeah, Monday. Yeah, Monday. For our review of Copland as we continue on um with our Ray Liotta month, and then we are going to commence our journey to Creed 3 as we watch the first Creed on what's it called, and talk about it on Wednesday of next week. But in the meantime, keep up to date with everything we're doing. Follow us at Twitter at the Nerdcore underscore, Instagram at the Nerdcore. Join our Patreon as well. And check out our website, thenerdcore.com, as well as our Discord. The link is in the description of both the YouTube video and the audio version. So just go and click that. Talk to us about some movies. And of course, yeah, if you're gonna be a drug lord, don't be in a 200-story building. Do it like a I don't know, like a 1,000 maybe. They'll never get up there.
Yeah.
Brad, just say Young Yoda out.
Young Yoda out.
Lena Headey was cool though, but wish that they gave her more to work with.
Mm-hmm.